Hello, trailheads, and welcome to the Trailhead. Before the trails start today, we need to have a short safety meeting. Off-roading is an exhilarating but inherently risky sport. The insights and opinions that are shared by our hosts and any experts or guests on the podcast are intended to inform and inspire, not replace professional guidance. The Trailhead guests, partners, and any sponsors are not liable for any actions that you take based on what you hear. It is your responsibility to seek professional advice and make informed decisions, especially when attempting potentially dangerous activities. Always check current trail conditions and comply with local laws and regulations. Off-roading requires careful preparation and respect for safety, so ensure that you're well prepared before hitting the trails. And now that that's out of the way, buckle up and let the stories begin.
Welcome to the Trailhead, where trails start and stories unfold.
One, two, three.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Now here's JD.
All right, welcome to the Trailhead, biggest shit show in off-road podcasting. How we all doing tonight?
Good.
Pretty good. I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Not everybody answered once. All right. Cool. Let's see. What do I have? It's welcome to the show. We are officially up on Instagram and YouTube. If you want to join us and call in live to the show, you should join us by going to thetrailheadnetwork.com and clicking on the live link at the top of the page. But I do see we already have Beatrice JKU on, so thank you very much for joining the show. All right. You know what? I totally forgot to. What'd you say?
I said muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much, Beatrice.
I totally forgot to look today and see if we got any new reviews on Apple Podcasts. I don't think that we did, so I'm gonna assume that we didn't. If I did, I will apologize profusely next week. But this is the reminder. I want to get this out of the way. I want to get business done. So because the last show that we were just talking about, the fact that was so long and we never got to our topic, was we also never got to a lot of business. So I just want to get that out of the way. We will give out a swag pack at 50 reviews. I might bring that back to like 25 or 30. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to hold the bar there high as long as I can. And you can contact us to either leave a voicemail and be on the show at 719-408-0132, or find a whole bunch of other ways to contact us at thetrailheadnetwork.com. Let's see, that's it for that business. I wanted to do a Blue Ribbon Coalition kind of a land use update stuff. This is your reminder that the Bears Ears comment period is still open till June 11th, so you've got less than 30 days now to get your comments in. There are 12 active travel management plans in Utah alone, so take a look. Go to the Blue Ribbon Coalition's website, sharetrails.org. Take a look at what's going on. Subscribe to their stuff. Make sure you get their newsletters. Subscribe to their podcasts. They do deep dives into this stuff. Every one of their shows, as much as I would love to do that, I feel like we would never have any listeners. They like us for this stuff for some reason. I don't know why. The other thing I noticed was did you guys see the Utah Public Lands Alliance, the UPLA, their post about their trail guide, or not trail guide, what do they call it? The Trail Saver.
Yes.
And let me share this real fast. So the idea behind this is they're trying to create a database, essentially, that is all of the trails that are under threat. And they just want to be able to quickly go and say to the various management agencies, people are going out here. So if you've been to one of those places, if you've been to any one of if you've been to any one of those areas that are under threat. Just select the area. It'll ask you if you know some more information about the trail, including the name or the popular name. Ask you to put some comments and some really basic information about the trail and upload some photos. They're going to use that information then for those big comments that they're sending in saying, see, people are going and using this stuff. People are actually going on the ground, and here are the pictures to prove it. So
Is
that
this
is you. Go
primarily
ahead.
for travel management areas that they're working on, or is it also for just this is a trail that we always go on? Here's some tracks that show we went there recently.
It doesn't look. I mean, they've got this listed as othered, so I'm assuming that they're taking everybody's submissions. But I think their main focus initially are the immediate threats. But there's enough of that. So, but I have a feeling this is, and this is anything for Utah. So, this isn't going to be for Colorado or anything, guys. It's just going to be for Utah trails, but it's going to include a lot of stuff that you're familiar with. So let's, because I even all the stuff in St. George, I think there's one coming up there too.
No, don't ruin St. George.
And then, yeah, so just you can drop in some information, but check that out. Their website is utahpla.com, and I'll put a link to that in the show notes that no one ever reads. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's see. You guys don't need to know about my broken clock spring. All right. Let's see here. The last piece is, and this one is for all of us, and this is a good one since we're talking about influencer culture tonight. The Blue Ribbon Coalition is challenging the commercial videography rules for public lands. Right now, and we talked about the fact that you technically need the FAA says you need a drone permit if you're gonna fly a drone anywhere, frankly, for YouTube or Instagram or anybody that might be paying you anything for that video. The unknown part is that some of the national parks also have used those kinds of commercial videography rules and permitting rules to go after some YouTubers who post motorcycle video or motorbike videos or other kinds of whatever content that they post, and then kind of just pick and choose who they want to go after when they want to go after them. So the Blue Ribbon Coalition is actually actively going to challenge that rule. So we'll see what comes of that too. But that's a good one. See, I'm interested to find out how that one pans out. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. But speaking of my clock spring, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to kick off updates for people. So I was telling Pope, the Jeep's been dropped off at this shop today. Hopefully I'll get it back tomorrow. Fingers crossed. I know I got a bad clock spring. Transmission's still kind of sluggish and feels rough, but that's felt like that for quite some time.
Is it
now.
even right twice a day?
No, it's really not. It's a Jeep though. It's got 138,000 miles on it. It's I kind of expect that at this point in its life. So
That's fair.
And I also knew it was going to be going in today. So the other things I asked them to take a look at, it was just kind of, please take a look at it since it's going to be here anyway. Because the other thing is I know I'm burning oil. I've burned off at least 1.5 quarts, probably 2 or 2.5 since my last oil change. And 4,000 or 5,000 miles, you shouldn't be burning off that much oil. So we'll see what they do with it now. They've done one consumption test on it. We'll see if they do another one before they start changing out gaskets and stuff.
Dang.
So we'll see. Fingers crossed to get it back tomorrow. Yeah. Let's see here. Craig, we usually go around the table at the beginning of the show. Is your vehicle in one piece? Is it in the garage and running? Can you take it to Kroger and back?
I can. Yeah, I've been working on it all week, actually, just throwing some new skid plates on there. So
nice.
What skids
Very
did
nice.
you go with?
Skid Row off-road.
Oh yeah, I've heard of them.
Someone named Skid Row makes skid plates.
You got to go with them.
I mean, you got to say that shit. Yeah, you got to say that shit 10 times fast though.
Yeah, what happened
Yeah.
fast? Why didn't this happen sooner though? Or Sebastian
Somebody
Bach
probably
on
thought it
his
was
skid
too on the
plates.
nose. Somebody's like, nah, somebody has to have that name already.
Yeah. No, it's a local company out in Pennsylvania. So yeah, no,
Cool.
they've done really well for me. So I'm happy.
Nice. I'm really kind of surprised by the amount of Midwest and East Coast gear that has been going on my Jeep lately. I really would have expected a lot more coming from either Colorado or California, but it's all coming from that side of the country. All right, cool. Alyssa,
hmm
you still have a vehicle functioning to and from the grocery store?
Yep. Yeah. I just changed out the bed rack and I went a little shorter so I can reach the tent easier. Um, and yeah, it's still in one piece. Um, that I can tell from like the front driver's side, something's something's making a creaking, crunching noise, and I haven't found it quite yet. I also haven't looked very hard because we've been like mid to upper 90s, so it's really
Oh,
warm.
yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Sometimes
and
it's just
then
like a rock
yeah,
that's found its way up on top of a bar or a joint, and it's just scraping when it goes up and down.
right. I'm really hoping it's my skids. Like I'm really hoping they're just dirty, like something got in there and I just have to clean them out. I just haven't like really looked, but it's together. We're working on it. I have to like rearrange where accessories and things go now that I changed the bed rack. So but we're together. We're rolling.
Nice.
Ezra?
And how's Ezra?
He's good. He's all clean now. I can give a size update if
Yeah.
you'd like. Okay.
Oh, we got a size
Ezra.
update yet?
Yeah.
Well, you
Let's
want to
see.
pick up a wet dog?
He's like mostly dry, I think. Ezra, come here.
She's in dry
No.
Arizona.
That's
Yeah,
valid.
outside.
That's I get that.
Oh, he's
Oh, gee.
huge.
My
He was
God.
as big as
Huge.
a freaking
He's huge.
boxer the other day, and I'm like, how many months is he now?
He's 4 months now. This Thursday he'll be 4 months. So,
He's the size of a full-size boxer.
dude, here.
Yeah.
See, friend? Maybe this is how we're gonna do size updates now. We are this tall to the couch. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yep.
kind of dog is that?
He's a German Shepherd.
Oh wow.
He's like all black with a little like white patch and white chin and white tail tip. But his mom was all black and his dad's the traditional like black and tan. So he came out mostly black. Oh, hello. Watch the
If my
glass.
puppy ends up here, I'll show you a size update. She's 5 months. She's an English.
Oh yeah, you just got a new
Aw.
puppy too. That's right. The last I can. Do you still get on the hood? Because that was
No.
the last picture I remember seeing. No,
No.
that's been some time then.
No. What kind is
Yeah.
yours?
English Mastiff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
She's gonna
The
be
main
He has
dog
3
I
horses.
usually take with me is a Bull Mastiff, and he's about 150 pounds.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it
See,
was,
you're
Does your
small.
wife ever go with you when you wheel, or is it just you and the dogs? Because you can't do that.
It's just me and the dogs.
There it is.
My daughter might go with me, or my son, but no, she's not down with that. Unless it's like Medino Pass and we're going to the sand dunes or something. But
All right. I just thought it was a space issue.
no. No, they don't.
I
get
know
in the
my
front
dog gets
seat.
pissed off. Yeah, my dog gets pissed off when the wife was in the passenger seat. So he's so cute, though.
Well,
Ugh.
150 pounds, that's the size of a human. You don't need other humans in the car.
No,
Yeah.
that's
You
why I
need a
got a
whole nother
2-door.
rooftop tent for that.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, so did you get the rooftop tent lower for you or for Ezra? What was the
A
real?
little of both. It was
Okay, there
definitely
it
for
is.
me. Yeah,
Okay.
I knew like in fall or winter. Oh, hello. That I wanted it shorter and I didn't expect to get him, but it'll help both of us. Yes.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
He's
All
going to
right.
just jump right into the tent eventually.
You know,
There's
if
not
he could, that would be great. I wouldn't be mad. Wouldn't be mad if you had a little Malinois in you.
Eventually, you're not going to have to move the camera for him to look up and have his head is
I
just going to be
know.
there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh boy,
Mhm.
he'll
It's
just
gonna
be
happen.
here.
Adorable.
Yeah.
All right. So, Pope, we have to get I'm working on the graphics. I actually looked in earnest for it today. I just couldn't get it together fast enough. So how many vehicles do we have today?
We're back down to 2.
We have 2 in our garage. Well, yeah, both Gem and Misfit are back at the shop, but they're not going to be there for too long.
Yeah. So Misfit. Well, let's tell them about Gem first.
Well, Gem's just getting her cage. Not a
Yeah.
lot different than last week.
Yeah,
I mean,
Gem's just getting her cage.
cage is in.
Yeah, the cage arrived. Everything's
starting to tear everything down, and now it's just the race to try to get her salvage title and stuff.
set to a rebuilt title, so we can legally put her on the road.
Yeah. So it's all that
Okay.
kind of stuff. Today I was finding out all the details, like what is important to make her legal enough to do all this.
What does she need? Take only what you need to survive.
Yeah.
Yep. Basically, it's like we came up with the idea today that it would be a good idea just to go ask the shop that always does our inspections, what do they need to take a salvage title and turn it into a rebuilt title. And they're like,
they gave me a list.
They gave her a list.
Make her legal.
We'll
Perfect.
We'll make her legal. We'll get her
licensed,
and we'll be back on the road again, like Willie Nilsson. A lot like Willie Nilsson, actually.
Not too much. I mean, really, not a lot. It's just boring insurance and things like that. But she's mine, and she's a shitbox. I'm really excited.
There you go. Shitbox is
freedom.
Again, I will reiterate. Shitbox freedom. It's a thing. And yeah, I wish I had it. But I don't, because it's a daily driver for me.
Yeah.
But she'll have her cage.
All right.
She's going to be cute.
All right.
And then Misfit's back in, too.
Misfit's back in. They're both getting new tie rod and drag link. We're doing Steer Smart's drag link and tie rods on both of them. We had custom, and under most circumstances it was fine, but once we started flexing things out a lot, jam nuts were coming loose. We also had that problem with our aluminum steering we were doing before, and it was just slightly, it grew. It was always a problem for the Gladiator, but once we started flexing jam out like we do, it started getting a little bit worse. And so now we're switching to the Steer Smarts because they don't use jam nuts, and we'll see how we like that going forward. I'm looking forward to a new change because what I had been doing wasn't working. So,
all right.
And then we discovered while we were on the trail that the Misfits rear shocks are rubbing on the frame and making a nice popping sound all the time. And
I thought you were going to leave that, though.
That's not the popping I want. It's the exhaust.
Oh, that's not the popping you were going to leave. Okay.
Yeah, that popping sound is kind of irritating. And even when I'm just driving through the parking lot, if I flex weird as the pavement flexes, it rubs and makes a pop. I don't know why it got worse all of a sudden. Then. It wasn't doing that when we were going to go to St. George, so I don't know what happened to it. But
I don't know. You literally pulled it out of the shop when we were driving to.
That's true.
You have no idea what it was doing.
No, all I know is it spit oil everywhere. The motor swap seems to be pretty decent. I'm going to have Impulse kind of shake it down just to have another set of eyes look at it for me. But no complaints there. I've been enjoying driving under overpasses a lot more than normal. And
we have a lot of left turn lanes under overpasses here in Colorado. So you just sit at a light and don't be that guy, though. Don't be that guy.
But and then I think the fixes for the Jeep should be easy, but I don't know what's going to be entailed. Oh, and so I candy cane the fuck out of my rear drive
I don't
shaft.
even know how you did that.
It's like ground down to where it's like there's like a notch, and I don't even know how I could sit on a rock long enough to cause that, but there's a notch in it, and where it's all grinded and it's all rusty all through this one spot on the drive shaft. I'm like, oh, there's a new weak spot. And so I'm going to have them replace the drive shaft wall that's in there too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, so kind of maintenance-ish.
It's mainly maintenance-ish. So considering it's a rock crawler and it does what it does, replacing a drive shaft after 2 years is probably reasonable-ish. I mean,
considering what you do with it.
What I do with it. Like if it was going on Argentine Pass and this happened, I would be suspecting some sabotage or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I looked at it like, whoa, fuck, when was the last time I was down here?
You're probably lucky it didn't grenade on the trail.
Yeah, I was doing a full shakedown. I actually put a wrench on every bolt underneath it just to kind of see if I could find anything else that was popping that I could report to them. And dude, I was like, whoa, what is this rubbing on? And I was looking everywhere trying to see if there's something that's been rubbing on, and I couldn't identify anything. Like the Moto-Built skid plate's completely fresh powder coat still, has 2 scratches on it, nothing where the drive shaft is.
Yeah.
So
it was a rock for sure.
It was a rock for sure. It's definitely a rock. It was probably Price. It was one of the first times we did Judgment Day in Price. I bet you was that.
There might be there's probably gonna be a moment at some point where you're looking at a piece of video someday and you're like, you know what? I bet this was it. You're gonna see something.
Randy
bang,
probably
and you're
knows
like,
exactly
I bet this
the
was
moment.
I know exactly what moment it is if it was in Price.
Your eyes got real big. Is a little PTSD from that?
No, I just yeah. It's water under the bridge.
Yep.
All right.
It's cool though because catching it now, guarantee I won't. It would have broke for sure. Vernal.
It's fine.
Vernal is like going to be acceleration fest, and I know it was going to break in Vernal if we didn't catch it now.
Oh, that's good. We're almost there.
Yep. And I keep adding more to my list of things I need. It's kind of one of the realities is so Randy's completely rebuilt with her suspension at this point. And all we've really had time to do on mine since we started working with Impulse is do the Rock Shock anti-rock in the front. That's it. And then they've kind of they took a look at some of the welds and they kind of re-welded a few things with the shock mounts and stuff like that. So it was for safety reasons, but we haven't really done any of the stuff like Jem's got a whole new suspension and drives amazing. And my Gladiator's like, I realize what's going on when we've got 2 different kinds of control arms on there. Like if the guy could fabricate, there would be one kind of control arm, the one he made. Instead, he's like parting together pieces from different kits to try to make it work. And it works better than it did. But we haven't had a good chance to straighten it all out yet. So I'm looking forward to when we can finally rip everything out in the back end of that thing and start over. Because it needs it. Anyway, Brandy's tapping my shoulder. So she's like, stop, you're about to talk too much shit.
No, you're just going.
She knows you better than us. All right. We got a voicemail this week.
Was it from
Can't
Nathan?
imagine that you all yeah, you really buried the lead though.
Sorry.
But yeah, if you wanted to be Nathan though, give us a call 719-408-0132. I happen to know we have a number of new listeners. I've been watching the numbers. I know you're out there. Call us. We want to hear from you.
Yeah, Craig, right, call us.
Yeah, Craig, come on.
I almost did one time. One time I was like, oh, I'll leave a message.
Annoying than a creative voicemail message.
Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Please leave a message at the beat. Joe is on a vacation far away.
Yo, 148, 3 to the 3 to the 6 to the 9, representing the ABQ.
Oh, shit.
Good morning. Calling in about my plans for this afternoon, evening type of dealio. My buddy called me last night and it was like one of those, hey, my dad ended up getting his truck stuck on a trail off of his back road and buried it up to the axles. You think you can give us a hand getting it out? So I said, sure, head over there after work. We'll see what we could do. I'm typically used to getting the phone calls with, hey, you got a truck and a trailer and I need to move this object in my entire house type of deal. But this is my first, hey, I need some recovery help with a vehicle that shouldn't have been off-road in the first place, kind of got stuck. So I was just curious if any of you have any stories like that where you get that phone call, where you're like, hey, I did something stupid. I need somebody that has the gear to get me out of it type of deal. So I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the podcast. Thanks.
Well, I know I have a few of these stories. Does anybody else want to start?
Randy and I, if you were relying on us in that particular situation, you're in a really bad situation.
I'll get you out. Well, we've gotten a lot of people out of when we're off the trail, but the funniest thing is when I was thinking about that, I'm like, nobody's actually called for us to come get them, except for one person, and it was Daryl when your engine exploded.
Yeah, the day my engine exploded, Daryl called and was stuck in Price needing some help.
He's like, hey, you guys could come help me. And we were literally on the side of the road and there was oil gushing from his engine. But we've helped
any other day, we could be there for you.
Yeah, any other day we would have come out and helped him. It was just funny. I was like, has anybody ever called? It's usually we're pulling somebody off the trail. We've pulled lots of people off trails.
We pull people off the trail a lot, but usually it's recovering someone that was on the trail with us and that broke, then we're dragging them off the trail.
But that was funny. The only time we've ever been called was Daryl, and we were broken.
Yeah. We usually call the Rubistina Josh. If he's anywhere within 50 miles, I could get him.
I was about to say, that'd be a hell of a hike for him. He's by us.
Yeah, no. But we don't usually.
Right. Well, he spends a lot of time out that way, though. So
he spends a lot of time in Moab. But yeah, that's. Right. But we don't. Yeah, we're not usually the people you're going to call.
Well, they usually don't call. I mean, I just haven't had the phone call. I mean, when you're on the trail, you know that we're going to help you.
Now people will be like, "Oh, Pope and Randy never get bothered. Let's do it because that'll be fun."
It's true. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if that's a kind of a symptom, if you will, of the kind of wheeling you guys do, because you guys are more of it's much more likely you're going to have a group of people with you,
right?
And I think the kind of stuff Nathan's talking about is. It's like the stuff I'm doing. It's and Alyssa is doing. We're kind of out by ourselves on a regular basis.
Now we could
and so are the people that we live with.
If someone did get stuck in the mud, we have some stuff that could help.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, it at the same time, I think that what we're doing, we go out in big groups. So we're usually if we're recovering somebody, it's usually somebody.
You know what it really is? It's because we live in the city.
Yeah.
Or just just outside the city. We're not really near where these guys are going to be breaking down or having issues.
And I'm sure I've asked this question before, but how close is the nearest trail for you guys?
Well, we can get up to American Fork in 20, 25 minutes, but there's 20 other people that are probably closer to that canyon than us.
Right.
Anyway, I was just thinking about it. I'm like, we don't get close phone calls, but I guess if we move to St. George, I have a feeling that I have a couple friends I can think of that would probably be calling us if we could come help them.
If you're going to be closer to them, yep.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the main reason why you're not calling us. But if you did get screwed up, guess what? We've seen all kinds of stuff in our experience. We could probably help you out.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen,
I don't think anybody here is going to judge you.
If you tipped over your Jeep,
Alyssa?
you know how to turn them back over? Sorry.
Right? Hey, there's that. There's some tribal knowledge you get from that.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been called to pull out somebody in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the day?
Yeah, but it wasn't like a shouldn't have been off-roading thing. It was just hey, off. It was just a normal. Okay, so my ex's friend had a forerunner too. And he went out with some buddies on the weekend and they just went like out in the desert and like one of the washy, it's a very well known, like big sandy washy area. But when it rains, like not in our city, when it rains like northeast of here, that whole area floods. So they were out off-roading and they got the flash flood warning. So they found high ground and they found high ground, but the floodwaters were so big that they couldn't cross to get out. So I think they crossed on foot, got a ride out of there, got back into town and went home. And then they asked a few people like, hey, can you come help us recover? And I got asked to go, but I think I was working, so I couldn't go. But a couple other of their friends went out and the floodwaters were, I think they got higher. I don't think it even went down. So they couldn't recover his car for like, I think 2 days. They kept going back like every other day to go try to get it. And finally, later on, they were able to get it, but I didn't do it. But I was asked to help, and it was like a well-built forerunner that wasn't anywhere he shouldn't have been.
It doesn't matter how well built it is.
Once the
in those
floodwaters
canyons
come,
in a
you're in
flash
trouble.
flood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Ooh, although 2 nights ago, I did go out to try to see the lights. I was a day late, but I went out to try to see lights, and there was it's like a Honda Civic. No, not a Civic. I don't know. There was a car that shouldn't have been out there, and she had her hazards on. It was like maybe 11:30 p.m. at this point. So I stopped on my way passing, and I saw it was like middle-aged woman, definitely not prepared for off-road. And I asked like, "Hey, are you okay? Do you need anything?" And she was like, "No, AAA is coming." And I was like, "Okay."
Oh, are they though?
And kept going. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, AAA could get through that road. It was just a pretty basic dirt road, but
Okay.
I mean, with my 4x4, I was out like 45 minutes on that road. So I didn't see
So it was
AAA my
going to be
whole
a
way
while.
out. Yeah. I'm sure she's okay. But but yeah, she wasn't stuck, but I was like, you okay? Because I would have stayed
I'm
with her,
actually
given
kind of
her anything
surprised I didn't hear
too.
more of those stories from this last weekend, because it was kind of
Oh
all
yeah.
last minute. There wasn't a whole lot of prep for it. I didn't see a whole lot of that come across my feed, and really kind of surprised.
Right.
It was kind of
All
like
right.
go out. Did you see any of it? Did any of you see any of it?
No, I wanted to, but I was at the symphony with friends, so I didn't go. But we have to get like out away from Phoenix because the light pollution is so strong here.
Yeah. We missed it the first night. Then we wanted to go the second night, but it started storming. And so we decided to cancel that idea.
Yeah, we were going to drive out. We were going to drive out as far as we could and see if we could get some of it the second night, but it was way cloudy and we didn't think we would see anything.
Yeah,
we had a lot of clouds and storms
bad.
right here by us, so I
Did
think we
you
saw a
see
little
any?
bit of it, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
Just
Craig
a little
might have. He's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
You know, I saw you're talking about the whole Northern Lights thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people in my feed that did it, but yeah, I didn't really care about it, to be honest. I was like, 10 o'clock at night,
like,
man, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, that was kind of where I was at too. Like, and I'm so
wake
much
up so
closer to Mount
early.
Herman Road. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought about it the second night, and then I forgot about it. So it's like,
well, we were all gung ho the second night. We were like, we're going to do it. And then 10 o'clock came and we were like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that, it's like,
people.
oh, yeah, it's late. I barely want to stay up for SNL. Mm-hmm.
But I heard to like really see it, you had to use like your phone camera on long exposure. I mean, I didn't see it, but people were saying like you could see like a red hue. And then when you used your phone, then you could like really, really see it. But to see it with your eye was harder.
Apparently
I
here
mean,
you
we're
could see
also like,
the white and the, yeah.
yeah, we were
Yeah.
lower. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I know
I
it
don't
was
know.
different for everywhere.
It's too late for us by the time I get. I need more time to prep if I'm going to stay up that late. That's where I'm at in life. I know it. Happy 45th birthday, y'all. All right. So let's see. And so I have a couple answers for that question. So I've been on both ends of those calls. I have been the person who needs rescuing in the middle of nowhere and the person who needs to be rescued, or the person doing the rescuing. I have dug out vehicles in Michigan, which probably should have learned better at that time in my life. But more recently, the only ones a few years ago, before Colorado Rescue Recovery was an organized unit, you could just sign up to go. As long as you had a good vehicle and good gear, you could just go. Now you need to be trained, and they have a whole process to make sure that people know what they're doing. And we had been at basically a cleanup at Yankee Hill, Craig, and this guy rolls up to us and he's just like, "You guys look like you know what you're doing with your Jeeps." He's like, "You think you could help me?" And he proceeded to tell us that he'd had a Subaru that he'd gotten stuck there the night before. And so we followed him up to the vehicle. And now the vehicle's at like a 45-degree angle. I'm surprised it's hanging on. And we had to do some rigging to get it first stable and then up and kind of work it up off the trail. But halfway through this recovery, this guy, the whole time the vehicle's running, and this guy, there's a beep coming from his vehicle, and he reaches into the vehicle and he goes, "Excuse me, guys, just 1 second," and grabs a tube and then blows into this tube while we're all like, there's like 15 people standing around this guy. And then the thing beeps at him and then it gets back. Does anybody know what that happens to be?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a breathalyzer to me.
Mm-hmm.
It was a breathalyzer. He claimed to be like 2 weeks away from getting rid of it. And I'm just like, okay, bud. Sure you were. I'm sure you just ended up here at a 45-degree angle on the side of this trail you shouldn't have been on in the first place with your lifted Subaru. So yeah. And then yeah, I've been on the other side of that. I've had to call for help in the middle of nowhere. Although every time that I've called for help, I've actually managed to get it dug out before anybody actually showed up to help me out. So, and I think Nathan said that they did get it out, and his comment was hashtag Apex, or excuse me, I think it was a Badlands, Apex Badlands winch. Is that the? Yeah. So yeah, and I love the off-brand winches. Like, yeah, Warren's great, and they've been around forever, but there's other good manufacturers out there too that are cheaper. All right, off my soapbox. All right, Nathan, thank you very much. We appreciate your weekly unpaid. I'm going to emphasize that unpaid contribution. Appreciate
Have you
sir.
been rescuing anybody, Craig? Have you rescued anybody?
You know, I'm like JD was saying, I'm out in Peyton, so I'm pretty far from the trails. I'm about an hour away. But out here in Peyton, people do stupid stuff. So yeah, there's huge mud pits and the big
snowstorms. Get called for a lot of ditch stucks, right?
Yeah, and the last time I got called is kind of funny because we had just finished dinner, 7:00, and I got a call. Hey, I did something stupid. I'm like, oh, great. So, but yeah, I'm always down to go out and help because anytime I can get out, use my winch, do some recovery stuff, it's cool. Because I don't really use it very much on the trails, thank goodness. So, yeah.
No, it's a valid point. That's part of the reason why I initially started doing the volunteering for the Colorado Rescue Group, because like, I have all this cool gear that I paid all this money for, and it is a significant problem. I just noticed the other day that my winch light, the power light, isn't coming on now. might mean it's still working. The light might just be out, but I realized like, I got to check that now. And it would be something that I would check more often if I got called more often. But Craig's so far from the trail, and now there's a couple of off-road recovery groups here, especially on the Front Range, because there are so many of them. And so I think even now, at this point in the game, I don't think we'd get a lot of phone calls, Craig, even if they were still all volunteer groups that anybody could respond to a Facebook message from.
Yeah.
So, but that should be a lesson to anybody. If you are worried about getting recovered and calling somebody and feeling embarrassed, don't. You might get a little bit of shit from somebody. There's always that asshole in a group, but more often than not, people just like to use their stuff. And sometimes they like to get away from their families, so they don't mind leaving at 2:00 in the morning either.
And honestly, getting up for adventure is a lot more fun than your normal whatever you were doing anyway.
Dude, I'm not answering my phone at 2 a.m. though. There's no way. If I'm not going to get up
Craig,
for the
don't
lights,
call me
I'm not
if you
going
need
to get up
something
at
at
2
2:00 in the morning. No,
Craig's like, wait till morning, please.
Yeah, you gotta wait till dawn. I'm with you. Like you gotta call my phone like multiple times. Show up with you want some coffee, man? You've just been out here all night, right? All right. Cool. All right. Well, that's it. That is all the catch up and whatnot, and we've managed to pump away 40 minutes on that. So,
good job, guys.
Yeah, nice job. Nice job. Would you like to do some news, Pope?
Yeah, I got some fucking news.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
Time for the Pope to read the news. Wait, we got the fucking Pope? Sorry, Trailheads. I'm now told it's just a guy named Pope reading the news.
Where's my scroller? There it is.
I should try to make him sound less disappointed, right?
He should be damn excited.
He should be way disappointed.
Oh.
He should be more disappointed. You should ask ChatGPT to make it even worse.
The shots coming from inside the house, Pope.
They are. I'm getting attacked from inside. All right. So, which one of these do you want me to do? I think the first one sounds like a good one.
I mean, the first one's at least a good news story.
It's a good news story, and it follows up to one of the topics we typically talk about.
That's a true story too.
Here on the Trailhead. The Bureau of Land Management Boise District has canceled the Grandview Travel Management Plan environmental assessment due to significant public feedback concerning off-highway vehicle use and access demands. So the decision came after extensive advocacy by local dirt bike clubs, racing organizations, and off-road groups, supported by interventions from, I am not really sure how to say their names, but their words are getting funnier by the second. Senator Risch, Senator Crapo, and Representative Fucker.
Representative Fucker, there it is.
Oh, get slammed. Actually, no one listens, so it'll be fine.
Nobody listens. Nah, exactly. You're already on a list, Pope. So don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm already on the list. Good. I've been on the list for a while. So this move will keep 1,365 miles of routes open for now, with plans to develop a revised version of the management plan based on community input. Continuing these efforts, a partnership with Pacific Northwest Four-Wheel Drive Association will feature a webinar to provide further training on public commenting, hosted by Tammy Pike to empower community members with essential advocacy tools.
And they have actually since they've actually since done that, and they're going to do some more of those too. So if you head over to the Pacific Northwest Four-Wheel Drive Association, it's a mouthful. But if
they have like a fast name like Upla?
They don't. I don't. Maybe they do. If you're from that organization and you'd like to come out and tell us, please reach out to me at thetrailheadnetwork.com. I will gladly have you on to talk about it.
But that's awesome.
It's the Blue Ribbon Coalition has it too. But yeah, this is, we kind of talked about it a little bit. Well, we've talked about it a lot. The more we kind of speak up and the more we kind of get our voice out there, the less everybody else's voice sounds so loud. And I think that's shown here. Like they're like, okay, we're gonna ditch all the current plans we have and go back to the table and start over completely. So I think it's good, and I think it's good in the long run too. All right. So keep that up, and that's why the UPLA. I don't know if that's like how they officially say their acronym is, but that's what Ben from Blue Ribbon Coalition said it was.
As far as I know, that's right. Everyone who I've ever heard refer to them has always said UPLA. No one ever says UPLA.
Okay. All right. I'll take it. I don't know how long they've been around either, though, so that could be a new.
Long enough to have signs up in Sand Hollow on top of the trail head markings.
Okay. Yeah. All right, that works.
They're fond supporters of trailheads.
There you go. See, we're all about the trailhead here. See what we did? That
was a dad
I don't think Randy's impressed. Yeah, I know. I can tell. At least Alyssa's laughing. Thank you, Alyssa. Thank you very much for supporting the show.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I think it's good to
you want to do the
celebrate the wins. I think it's really
let's do the other one.
Especially when so many things are looking bleak all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other reason why I wanted to bring it up, because like we're starting to rack up more of these, and we should hopefully in the near future we'll be able to do more. It'll be more of a, hey, we've got this one, but there's also this one this week, and because it's going to be a long year.
Totally.
All right, Earth Cruiser USA shuts down. Earth Cruiser USA LLC, a prominent manufacturer of off-road expedition vehicles based in Bend, Oregon, has announced that it had ceased operations after 16 years in the industry. The company shut down its facility on American Lane last Thursday. Earth Cruiser has been known for its innovative designs and production of robust adventure vehicles, including the EXP, FX, and Terra Nova models, along with a recent edition of the GMC Hummer EV Earth Cruiser Upfit.
God,
I tried to make it sound cool.
It's not. It's just.
I watched Idiocracy last night, and now it's.
You know what? I was going to ask, because that's Idiocracy energy. Big ass tacos.
Big ass fucking tacos. Your children are now property of Carl's Jr. All right.
I can feel Randy on my shoulder right now.
Yeah, she's like, despite the achievements, Earth Cruiser faced increasing market economic challenges that led to the decision to close, and that's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Earth Roamer. It's kind of there's if there is a mid-range market for that. I mean, this thing still has to be 150 grand. I can't imagine it being less than that.
It's got those big ass screens.
I saw one of those the other day.
Well, it's the Hummer EV. What'd you say, Alyssa?
I swear I saw one of those the other day. I thought it was just the electric Hummer. I didn't realize it's part of Earth Cruiser.
Ours? Well, no. So the Earth Cruiser's part with this was the pop-up.
I see.
Yeah, their piece was just doing like these ultra fitted things. Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm saying is it'd be 150 for all in for this whole thing. Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
Yeah. And they came out with this thing, and it's really cool. Like, but then again, I feel like that vehicle is so large you could just bolt a house on top of it and you would still be fine. I saw one at our office the other day, and I think it was parked outside because it couldn't fit in our parking garage. And I'm just like, that's just unnecessary. It's a lot. No. But then again, I felt that way about the original Hummer. But yeah, Earth Cruisers just they do kind of the bolt-on stuff, and yeah, they very much had the super amount of names. Like they had a lot of fancy names for their products. All right. And they are officially shut down now. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like little Earth Roamers.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's disappointing in the aspect of it was nice to see when the overlanding craze kind of happened. It was kind of nice to see a steady introduction of mid-range, because there were so many like the Earth Roamers out there, and the Earth Roamers are just ridiculous. Those are $500,000 vehicles, and they're way out of the price range for a lot of us. So it was kind of nice to see something. I mean, but then again, these aren't really affordable for the masses either. That's part of the reason why they had to shut down, is because I just think people got to a place where like, I just don't have 65 grand for a bolt-on for my vehicle for a rooftop tent.
That's a lot, even for people in Jeep community that do what we do to our rigs.
It's a certain amount of bougie that has to spend so much money for those things, and maybe I'm way off on the amount of money, but I don't know. I feel like
it seems excessive. They're beautiful though.
It seems excessive, honey. It seems excessive.
We're maximalists account. Do not follow us.
Now, don't lie. You would like to have those big ass screens on your dash, though. Don't lie.
If we were overlanding, he'd be like 60 grand for like that whole thing. I don't know, like.
Can I put a DirecTV satellite dish on the top
and some Star
and Starlink?
They're having his scotch and whatever,
watching TV, drinking
certain
scotch.
Kind of bougie.
That'd make a hell of an Instagram account, Pope. I'm just saying.
It's actually right.
That's your next one. That's Vehicle 5, right?
Vehicle 5.
Exactly. That seems excessive, everyone. It seems excessive to do that kind of thing.
Okay, so I'm looking at it as it's one component, like it's a camper shell, right? It's a rooftop tent. And in the grand scheme of things, it's a single component that's really expensive, where you could kind of get a lot more bang for your buck with a little less.
Yeah. I think that's the thing for me, is that that's like 6 times. It's at least 10 times more expensive than what I'd be willing to pay for. Like, it's really nice, but and how heavy would that thing be? Like, that's all that fiberglass. All right. All right, well, I've old manned at the cloud enough. I'm good. Let's old man about influencers, shall we? Yeah.
Let's old man about influencers. Who wants to start?
Let's old man about influencers. The couple weeks ago, we kind of we were talking a little bit about it, but I just kind of wanted to spend a little bit more time because, all of us here, at some point, maybe actually take that back. Pope, Randy, you guys may be the exception. I don't know if you guys have ever posted any kind of either partnered or sponsored content or any kind of advertised content. I know Craig has, I have, I think Alyssa has. So it's worth having a conversation about it.
Yeah. So we do it a little differently than a lot of people do. For Motobuilt, the parts are just sitting there on the outside of our vehicle, are always present. Like, you can't see a Misfit video where there's not a Bob bed or Motobuilt fenders or Motobuilt bumper. And so we don't really do hey, look guys, I'm installing a Motobuilt bumper on my Jeep today. Because honestly, well, it'd probably be viral content, because it'd just be nothing but the F word over and over and over again. And people throwing shit. And like,
we do 2 projects a year to remember why we don't do projects together.
Yeah. Stuff that goes well is letting Randy paint your Jeep. That goes well. Don't interfere.
I can paint stuff.
She can paint the shit out of stuff. She's good at that. Wiring projects go
paint
okay,
isn't
No, it's not gonna.
Paint isn't the bolt you're trying to get off.
Fall off of my vehicle, or my axle isn't going to split in half for some reason because I didn't bolt something together. I don't know if it could happen, but I'm just saying, like, I'll do things that I can, like, either bolt on, like headlights and like bumper lights and like things like that. I can screw things together, but I just don't want to be responsible for anything functioning.
Yeah. Then our Easy Flight relationship is slightly different. They want us to post something regularly. And we try to keep it still as genuine as possible.
Well, the only reason we work with any of these companies is because we genuinely like them. And that's really our only situation with any of it. And they're just...
So I'm not we're not going to go out of our way and say and do an Easy Flate commercial, if you will, but we're more than happy to be like, look at us airing up with all this Easy Flate stuff and make sure every single one of the new things that we have is in the video. But it's something we were going to be doing anyway. And, and so fits really well on our page. One thing I think is true about Randy and I have a big mouth, but I don't like being a spokesman. Like, I feel phony as hell if I'm out here trying to be like, I'm the Pope, and I recommend that you buy a Moto-Built Bob bed. It's tough as nails, it's not who we are.
He just rolls it.
I just roll it.
Look, I rolled back over and there's no dents.
Rolled back over, no dents. You should get one. That's how I sell it.
Honestly, that's a better endorsement than anything you could script out, man. Yeah,
no, they told us, they're like, when you rolled, we sold 4 bobbed beds. And I was like, that's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yep. And they're using Randy's Jeep on their website, and there's things like that happen. But in general, with Easy Flate, we just love working with those guys. Our neighbors are, they're a few towns away. They're a local company, and that's the only reason we do commercial stuff for them at all. But I mean, they give us stuff to help with our R&D. We torture test their stuff. Like, we're the first person testing Easy Flate compressors out with 40-inch tires. We're the first ones doing the case with we're trying.
We bought their hose when it was in their garage, and we bought it.
The very first set, yeah.
As soon as they came out with an air compressor, we bought it. And then we tortured that thing for 3 years. Their first air compressor that we had was their first round. They bought it, and we bought it from their garage. It was hilarious. And so now they're like, okay, you guys actually use this product, so go out and tell me everything you hate about it. And we come back and we're like, okay, this isn't going to work, or this works, or they're just friends.
Yeah. Those are the kinds of relationships that I've liked so far.
Yep.
And that's pretty much all of our relationships.
Yeah. We thought about trying something different. Initially, we had a friend that was starting an off-road company, a tour company. And then
thought about that.
And I've thought about that.
I didn't.
But the way that this works out is it doesn't feel genuine anymore. Yeah. And I also feel like, who the fuck am I? It's I realistically look at a lot of people when they're doing this, and I laugh at it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, who the fuck are you? And it's and I'm being honest. I'm being brutally honest. I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. But this is just the way it looks like to me, for the same reason that you don't see me doing a commercial. I say, who the fuck are you? And sometimes we say that about the podcast. Like, who the fuck are we that we're on a podcast?
I say it weekly. I'm pretty sure I start the show with welcome to the Trailhead, and why the fuck are you listening to this show?
Yeah. So it's just...
I'm shocked every week when you tell me that we had somebody actually listen to it. So.
And I'm shocked when the
numbers
we had
more listeners than the week before. I know. I'm 100% shocked every time I look.
But no, that's kind of how we feel about it. But I know that I've had a lot of friends, and especially I won't name names unless Randy wants to name their names. But but we have friends who actively do ads on their page a lot. There's nothing wrong with it. They're actually good at it. We're not.
Right.
They just don't.
Well, and I actually look at other people's pages and think, you should promote that, or you should do this. I don't.
You're a great person to be promoting that.
But we just try really hard to just support our friends, and then have genuine content that is us just wheeling, and that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't actually say constantly, check out my Dana Ultimate 60 axles in action. I don't I don't really give a shit. And in some lights, people are like, haha, you're just running those puny axles. And so it depends. It just depends on where you are in the world.
Well, we don't know anything. So that's the funny thing is I hate recommending anything because we don't know anything. Because 9 times out of 10, in 5 minutes, it's going to bite me in the ass. And I don't want to be responsible because you spent money on that.
Yeah.
I try to be, especially when it comes to the mechanical stuff, right? Because that's where I'm at. I'm not. I didn't install any of my Steer Smart stuff. I know that I like it. I know that it feels good on the trail. It seems to be doing me good, but I don't have any hands-on experience with it, so I can only speak to my experience with it after I've had it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm in the same boat as you guys. Like I think I started out. I remember I did a few early on, like a few posts. I think it was just one or two, maybe, that were like specifically almost kind of like, hey, this is we got a giveaway or one of those kinds of posts, or just kind of a very blatant commercial kind of ad, or post, and I didn't like it. Nobody didn't get responded to very well in my feed, and because I think there's some of that just doesn't translate. I think you're right, Pope. I think people can kind of see through it, that unless you're really, really good, unless you could be doing it on television in an infomercial, you probably sound disingenuous doing it.
Yeah. And some people have naturally that kind of talent. They can do it. But I think that
I'm not one of those people.
Yeah. And I'm not a person who could be hosting a show about installing automotive parts. That's the last person I want to pretend to be on the internet. I never fucking worked on a car until I got my Jeep. I probably changed oil 3 times in my life. So it's, you don't want me hosting a show or little tidbits about how to install parts, because I'm an idiot. You don't want that. Yeah,
it's probably an easier way than whatever we're going to do.
Yeah, we're going to show you the stupidest and the hardest way possible to do it.
And your car might start on fire. So
and you might get a divorce.
There is that. Yeah, just so you guys know, you probably have not listened to the show yet, but we do not have a disclaimer that plays before the show. So essentially, I don't try this shit at home kind of stuff.
Well, that's good. We need it.
I was advised that would be a good idea for us to add to the show.
Every aspect of it, from the drinking while we're talking to each other. Don't try that at home. It's dangerous what we do here.
Yeah. So here, a quick aside. Yeah. It was a conversation with a bunch of other podcasters and basically a legal expert. And I presented our situation to her and kind of gave her an idea of what we were doing here. And she's like, yeah, you should probably have a disclaimer in place before the show. So if you listen to the show, you can now get a disclaimer before you listen. So that's
good.
All right.
It's good.
Don't listen to Pope and Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Craig, how you feel about this stuff? How you feel I know you do some of those posts sometimes too. You're kind of in the same boat that I am. Like I don't think I've ever seen you do like an ad one. I've seen you kind of do like hey, this is something I got now. I kind of like it or I don't like it.
Yeah, I probably do way more of that kind of stuff than I should. But I like to do the stuff that people don't really know about. Like I did this one for Ride Dog. And it was so cool.
Yeah.
He's actually in Utah. He's doing some really cool stuff out there. But I'm somewhat mechanically inclined, but not totally. So like I'll do skid plate installs. I'll do the Ride Dog install. Just little funky stuff. And
for those who don't know, what's the Ride Dog?
Yeah, I was just gonna say ask that.
So Ride Dog is it's a security system for your Jeep. And people that are listening, if they want it, use code Fergie.
There it is. Hey, I got 3 of them. Go.
But yeah, it's so it hooks up to your battery, and you kind of hide it in your engine bay. And what's cool about it is you lock it, and then like my daughter was getting in my Jeep and getting something out one time, and I got a notice that said something is in Fergie, or there's motion detected with Fergie. And then if it actually leaves, it'll be like Fergie is leaving the premises, like, and it's real time.
Oh, okay.
And what's really cool about these guys, and I'm not meaning to do an ad for them because they're just really cool guys, but they're really helping with the whole trail closures out in Moab and providing data to the Blue. Is it the Blue Coalition?
Blue Ribbon
Coalition.
Blue Ribbon. Because I guess some of the reasons they're shutting it down is because they're saying no one's using it, and they're showing data. Hey, they are being used. So, but stuff like that, I like to help those kind of companies. I really Skid Row Off Road was another one. They're just cool people. I just like helping them and doing cool stuff with them. I'll get a lot of emails. Hey, if I give you this product, will you test it out? And as long as I don't have to tell people, hey, this is great. Like I did that windshield. There's this thing for windshield protection. It's like a phone protector for your windshield, and it goes in 3 layers. And man, the concept blew my mind because
it's like
I've
NASCAR.
gone through.
If you ever watch NASCAR, they have the peel off screen protectors on NASCAR. Fergie,
that's
I need
what
your
this
code.
is.
Is your code Fergie on that too?
Yeah.
Problem. See, that's the thing is I love supporting our friends. Like, there's so many of these small businesses, and I don't mind saying, like, I don't even mind buying the product and then supporting them. Like, they don't have to give me any sort of thing. But if I love you and I care about you, I'm going to tell everybody about you. And it's not an ad. It's just me telling you what I care about and what I like the most.
Yep.
And I think it's awesome. Like, I just learned something about Red Dog. I like that.
Yeah, we don't actively reach out. Sometimes people reach out to us. But it's kind of, we're lazy, I think, is a big part of it. Is we just don't really want to do it.
I'll tell him to reach out. I'll tell him to reach out to you, especially because you're in Utah.
Right.
Cool.
That'd be a cool thing because it looks like it's for UTVs.
Well, it's going to be good for Randy when she decides to get rid of her hardtop. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Randy's going to not have. Yeah, she's going to be so good. Jem's going to be amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of being an influencer, you got a new product coming for that too.
For what?
To keep all your tools and your belongings from flying out all over the trail when your Jeep tips over.
Oh yeah, Diabolical did a bunch of stuff for me. I'm really excited about that.
Yep.
My whole back end will be all enclosed, and then I'm going to do a slide up floor. So that will be kind of nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not going to be really a drawer, just a slide out bottom, so that it can just like all come out. I don't want to do the drawer because I don't want to give myself a certain height limit. So yeah.
But that's a company we know locally.
They're pretty awesome.
They're at every single event that we're at. They basically sponsor the main Jeep clubs up in Salt Lake. It's always Diabolical, and then Salt Lake City built Jeeps is in the same exact tent as Diabolical is when they're in Utah. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. But yeah, all right. That Ride Dog thing is cool, though.
That Ride Dog thing is cool. I like that.
That's really cool.
And I like the windshield glass thing too. But I know about it, but I wouldn't know that I could actually buy it for my Jeep if I hadn't seen it on like Fergie's or on Craig's page, right? So there is, even though I look at myself and say, "Who am I?" I just don't think I'm that damn cool. But if you think you're cool enough, then by all means, do it. Like I knew Craig had the windshield thing too because I saw it, but it's on my list. It's on my wish list. I really want to get it. If I have my Jeep in my hands longer than 4 days, I'll probably get it installed. But it's.
Do you
a cool
have
thing.
that problem up by you? Do you regularly get a chip windshield?
Oh yeah. I work by a quarry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep,
sometimes it's a regional issue. I know it is here if you live anywhere along the Front Range in Colorado, but if it depends on where you're at. So
he drives past a quarry every single day.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep,
that'll do it. Craig, did you like the film or not?
No.
Can I half and half on it? I know I was going to do it. You knew I was going to call you out on it.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like it. Oh, that's too bad.
For some people, they really liked it. For other people, it didn't. For me, it took way too long to cure. If you're patient,
Oh,
then you're good. But the air bubble was right over my wife's side, and she refused to drive with this because it was kind of like because there's 3 layers.
Yeah.
So it's work. You got to really get, and I got out as much as I could, and then
wait a second. Can I ask you a logistical question? So it doesn't come
Sure.
like as just a pack, like a 3. Like you have
It
to
is.
put each
No,
layer
it's
down.
yeah, it's
Okay.
3, and it's super easy to install, but it wasn't. Plus, to be honest, I didn't clean it as well as I should have. So when it went over, if it goes over a piece of dust, then you can
Get the
kind of
bubble.
see the space around it. So as long as you're installing it the proper way, you'll be good. But I'm not as.
But that's an honest review of it, though, right?
tedious.
Like if you're
Right.
kind of a person who doesn't want to do that kind of a work with it, then I mean, it's not worth it. But I know Pope will sit with it. He'll screw with it until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Randy will get every
Or
little
Randy
bubble
will
out
just
and
take
Pope
it over and do it instead.
Randy does the prettiness stuff.
The detail.
I do the Pope smash things.
The Pope smash things. You just destroy drive shafts.
Yeah. No, it's I think that it sounds like you almost need to be able to tint a window.
Yeah.
And if you can do tint a
I've
window.
never wrapped a vehicle or done. I had my patience, it's not
See,
there.
do you get to? I mean, you're on our podcast, and the amount of listeners varies. But do you ever go back on your page and after you tried out something, be like, "Oh man, this sucked. I didn't like it." Is it because we don't ever say anything bad, even when we have a bad product that we're not happy with? We don't say anything bad because we don't want anybody that we may possibly, even though we don't say we don't work with people, but we might want people to work with in the future. We don't ever say anything bad. So, do you get to follow up on your review and be honest with it? I'm just curious.
I could, but yeah, if it was a bad product, I don't think it's a bad product. I just think I did a bad job.
It just wasn't for you. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a fair answer too.
That's true.
Yeah, but if it was bad, I would probably just remove it because I wouldn't want to bash a company.
Right. So I understand why you didn't like it, though. Actually, I can totally understand what you're saying. It was, yeah, it makes sense in the context of this is what happened. I had an air bubble, piece of dust. It makes a lot of sense. And it's like you're like, if I would have done a different job installing it, it might have been better.
Yeah, I would have cleaned the window better.
Yep.
If I would have done, and I would have probably used a brand new window because my window already had a chip in it anyway. So it was like, that was dumb.
Oh yeah, I get a new windshield once a year too. I could get that shit on there that same day. Yep.
I wonder, can that be installed by
yeah,
the glass windshield companies?
The detailer.
Can you tip your Safe Light guy an extra $50 to do it for you?
Probably.
Yeah, Safe Light might offer it. I wonder.
Well, they might. All right. Alyssa, what's your philosophy? You got a couple of posts here and there about stuff you've gotten here and there, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was the question again?
Just what's your philosophy about social media and posts about any product that you're given? We're kind of going around the table of what our personal
for parts.
Yeah. Will you sell your soul for a pair of tires or a set of tires? A pair of tires, just 2 tires. Come on, will you sell your soul for just 2 tires, not 4, just 2? 2.
Yeah. Oh God, let's see. I don't know. It's hard. I've purchased a lot of stuff, but I have also been given things to promote on social media. But before anything is sent, I will straight up tell a company, look, I don't go out and stage my stuff. I will take your product out with me. The photos and videos will be real time as I'm using them. I don't have a drone. I don't have a gimbal. What you see on my page is you're gonna get back. Is that okay? Only because you guys said, I question myself and I'm why are you asking me when other people out here have really great content and can give you like website quality stuff.
Okay, so we're not the only ones kind of doing that.
No,
Yeah,
so am I. I mean,
I'm
honestly, yeah.
like, yeah, like I'm so like honored when companies ask, and I have worked my way up. Like I'm really proud of myself for that. But even with that, I'm still like, oh, there's a lot of other people out there. I'm not saying no, I'm just making sure you know that my bar is probably like very average here for you guys. And so I try to tell companies at first, and usually they're like, yeah, that's fine. And then I'm like, okay, like
I
I'm
think
not
they
gonna
recognize
sit.
it.
Mhm.
Yeah, usually a product's a low cost for them to just send out a product for. I mean, most of the time, I don't think any of us are getting paid anything other
I don't
than
get
free
paid.
products occasionally, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get anything. Yeah.
Yeah, we just get
and
just get an occasional free product.
Yeah. I haven't I haven't gotten one in a while. The last thing I got was Ezra's new stuff from Black Lab Brand. He got his bed and his leash and his
Oh,
collar,
I need some
and
dog stuff.
yeah, it was pretty solid. That bed's really, really durable.
Get your
And like
mastiff
waterproof
taking some
and
foot pics.
yeah, get him some.
Oh God! You know what? I almost went to say I wonder if there's a market for that, but I already know the answer to the question, and I don't want to ask it. So, all right.
Yeah, but yeah, like that.
Okay.
And then I think Rounds and Hounds, but before that I haven't gotten much. But no, and then even before that, before I was getting anything, like Randy said, products that I liked, I was sharing them like, or I was making a post about them, and like didn't talk to the company, don't have any like relations, just I like this product and I use it all the time. And if anyone's looking for whatever it is, I use it all the time and it lasts. And people would be like,
I used to
oh,
do that a
did they
lot.
get
I need
that?
to
I'm
get
like,
back
no.
to doing that.
Yeah. No, I just
Do you
like
guys
it,
get
but
people reaching out to you for honest opinions on your DMs? I get that a lot. Like someone's
For
gonna
honest
ask me,
opinions.
yeah,
I was
they
gonna
ask me
ask
for
you guys
honest
that
opinions.
too.
Like, what do you honestly think of your rock slide engineering sliders? Is a common question I get. Or what do you honestly think of whatever part you put on your Jeep?
Oh, you mean from other people, not from companies?
Yeah, not from companies. Just
No,
from
no.
Just from
I
random
get
people.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, the vast majority of the time after the company sends me their thing and they get their post from me, I never hear from them again unless I've already developed a relationship with them. So, yeah.
I was gonna ask that about your windshield tint. It's not tint, cover, protector. Because I feel like if someone wanted to know if you liked it or not, they would ask you directly. They wouldn't be looking for a post asking if you truly liked it or regretted it or anything.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like before people buy, people will ask, like before they hit that.
I think the price tag
button.
influences how many of those questions we get too, right? Like for rock slide, there's a puppy.
Wow.
That's a puppy.
Oh my gosh, he's
so
so
cute.
cute. How is he off road?
How old is he?
Oh.
Yeah, this is Stella.
Stella.
She's about 5 months.
She's 5 months.
5 months.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
she's so big.
Yeah,
She's
she's a
so
big girl.
cool. I
How
love
does
her
she
colors.
like off road?
She's pretty.
What'd you say, Randy?
How does she like off road? Have you taken her out yet?
No, I have not, because she is not fully potty trained yet.
So yeah.
That's a lot of that's a lot of liquid to let go in the back of your Jeep, man.
Yeah, or a lot of
I
pudding
don't want
to
her
clean
to go
up
in a
there.
bathroom in the Jeep.
Yeah.
Oh well, and you know what? Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, you have the subwoofer in the bottom of your Jeep too, right? Because last week we told the story, and if you want to hear the whole story, you're just going to have to go back and listen to last week's rambling episode.
Yeah.
But I did tell the story of how my wife's 110 pounds Saint Bernard Black Lab shit in my subwoofer. So yeah, you're right to be concerned, Craig. Is what I'm saying.
Duke is when I first started wheeling with Duke, he's thrown up twice. And actually, one time I did a reel. I happened to be doing a GoPro, and I could hear him you know, if you have dogs, you know it's coming. And I tried to get him out, and I didn't make it. So he's good now. He likes wheeling now, but
there you go. All right. All right. Here's a question for everybody. Do you guys think that sponsored posts are perceived as being authentic by the audience? And I'm talking like the straight up a sponsored post. Kind of, we were talking about them earlier, like the ad kind of a post, not just the, hey, I got one of these and I kind of like it, and here's a discount code. Like just the straight up. And Pope, you kind of touched at it, like you mentioned that you're kind of like turned off by the people who aren't good at it, right?
Yeah, I'm turned off by people who aren't good at it. There's certain people. I think it comes down to so my perception of someone who's new at this or new at Instagram, and I don't know them from anywhere else besides they just started an Instagram account. I'm just kind of like, I wasn't trying to get there on purpose, and I don't know if they are trying to. But when you start doing it, you're trying a little too hard. I feel like, and it just feels a little disingenuous to see someone with, 500 followers doing an ad about something that they just got. It just kind of doesn't feel natural, and that's kind of the reason why we don't do it ourselves.
Do you think that's this is a question for anybody, but do you think that's a more of a reflection of who the company chose to do business with, and more of a reflection on the product, or more of a reflection on an influencer?
I think Randy and I have a different opinion on here. Says there's certain logos, if I see them on your Jeep, I automatically have an opinion on the company, and and I'm a little snooty, but I am
taking off all my extreme terrain decals, so don't judge me.
I mean, there's another one that's similar to that I won't mention, but it's like
what? Red Rock 4x4?
Yeah, I wasn't going to mention it, but
yeah, no, that's all right. They're out there. Like
it's the same thing.
Let's say
True
who they
story.
are.
They
like
reached out to. That was one of the first people that reached out to us and said, "Hey, we want to do something with you guys," and then it literally turned into absolutely nothing. Anyway, it was. I started looking at their website. I'm like, wow, there's nothing I would want to put on my Jeep from your website. I don't need anything else that you guys make, and I don't really particularly like any of the stuff at that time. I'm sure they have nicer stuff now, but at the time, with brand new JLs, there's a limited selection of stuff to even be able to put on there. And so I was kind of like, okay, I don't want to do that. And then I start seeing that same logo showing up on like just ship boxes and like people and it's just anyway.
I think some of it is too much. Yeah, that's too much. Like, it becomes obvious at some point that you're marketing rather than just garnering good customers.
Right. And I think that the difference between how some companies choose their influencers over another is some of these companies make sure that you already like their product, you already use it, and they kind of convert what you've been doing as you bought products in the past. Now you're almost kind of getting a rebate from them in a way. It's not directly called that, but it's like you've bought a whole bunch of parts from a certain company. Now they've given you some extra free parts and they're giving you discounts on any future parts. I mean, it kind of, that's it. You built that relationship and it feels real. It feels more genuine.
Right.
And that's whereas someone you've never heard of is willing to just grab any random Instagram account and send you a box with a flag and a sticker to put on your window. And
we're not talking about you, JK Trailfinder. We're not talking about you and your extreme terrain logo. We're not.
Nope. Trailfinder, definitely not.
He's actually been with them a long time.
And the thing is, he's actually kind of good at it.
He's very good. He's one of those that is very good at it. Yes.
And so I laughed because I'm like, oh, dude, you could have got a better brand than that. That's what I thought.
Quiet.
I'm gonna get Randy next when I finally see you guys. I'm gonna bring you a small taser just so you can have and zap him once in a while. And then every once in a while, we'll just hear whenever I hear Pope glitch out. Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
The
Like Russian roulette.
The problem is he starts talking.
And then the truth comes out.
And it's not even the truth. It's just like garbage. It's like word vomit of things.
It's the word salad. Yeah.
And who knows
exactly.
what's going to like land on or how anybody's going to feel about it. It's like, I don't know.
JK Trailfinder's going to reach out to us. What the hell?
He is. He's already laughing at us. He's watching our live stream.
He's watching the live stream right now. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Mike is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
See you on Saturday, Mike.
Mike, you do a good job. You could get great brands.
Like seriously, your ads are actually pretty good. Like every time I see it, I'm like, that's actually a pretty good post. Like I'm surprised by that. That's yeah.
He does one for, I don't remember the name of it. I'm sure he'll say it, but for lights, he got like all these like just LEDs all over the place, and he's done a great job with them.
He does some good stuff. All right. I feel like this is an easy answer. You can yes or no this question. Do you feel the pressure to upgrade or modify your vehicle based on trends you see from other influencers on Instagram? I feel like I'm past that point in my life. I've spent so much money that I can't be influenced. You think that's a real thing? No?
I don't know.
I don't know. I see someone with that KC light bar. I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
Let me spend a couple grand on that.
Mm-hmm. There's like upgrades and things that I see that I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I start seeing more trucks have it. And I'm like, yeah, that I kind of want that. And then I look at the price and I'm like, I don't need it. But you're right.
Do you think an influencer could push you over the edge for that price? Do you think a really cool post about something would put you over the edge?
A post? No. A company asking if I want half off? Yes. But a post?
Well,
no.
yeah, I think any one of us was. My threshold for agreement changes a lot when it becomes to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I am right now.
Even if someone's like absolutely raving, saying like this is going to change the game and everything, I'm like, cool, I'll put it on my list, but it's probably not going to happen. But it moved higher on my list. Yeah.
I got some PRP seats on my list I've been looking at, and it's just like, ooh.
See, yeah, those two, like they look comfy, but
PRP seats is one that has a lot of people sign up for it. But I feel like those seats almost sell themselves in a way, like.
Oh yeah.
But it doesn't hurt that they have tons of influencers using them. But for me, I was like, we bought Randy's seats because of what the design that they made of the material and seeing them on other.
Man, for the number of people they bring into their
PRP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're not
for
on
the
Team
number
PRP.
of people on Team.
I don't have an OnlyFans, so I'm not on Team PRP.
But you could be.
Oh,
We've talked about it before.
We've talked about it before.
We'll have an OnlyFans before we have a YouTube.
One of those two things pays better.
It's true. Yeah, it's like, no, it's just been, that's another one that's, but the thing is they make a really good product, right? And Randy has it in her Jeep. I would put it in my Jeep, and so I don't really feel like when people say they like them that they're lying, because I know they're not.
Yeah.
Right. But I also like, dang, everybody's on Team PRP. How did this happen?
But I also rolled my Jeep and stayed in one place, and my harnesses kept me safe and comfortable. And I think they're the most important thing that I have in my Jeep right now.
Yeah. So I mean, if we could be Team PRP, but
I'd like to know how many seats they're selling when they have that many people on Team PRP in their influence group. It's just, that was my curious thing. It's just like,
this is the thing is like, what's the other seat brands?
Do you know?
Tell me one other seat brand.
Quadratec?
No. Corbeil or
Corbeau, yeah.
And it took you a second to think about it.
It took me a second.
There's Sparco also, because that's what Light-Brite took out of their Jeep.
Like, you don't know what else is out there, really.
I mean, there's not a lot of people that are still building seats for the TJ. So
no, my only concern with that is that they gave seats to all their customers that were going to buy them.
No,
That
they,
was-
they,
that
I think
was-
they sell a lot of.
I mean, yeah, every time I think about that, and the other piece of that, and this kind of speaks to what you were talking about earlier, Alyssa, is, and you too, Pope, the who the hell am I kind of a thing. I think companies are starting to recognize that spending gobs of money on television spending isn't getting them anything anymore. But, spending a few $100 to send some free parts to somebody, if they like it, then they post about it, then that's better advertising than I could get, because I'm much more likely to buy something if I just see somebody post about it. I think it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm much more likely to purchase certain brands that I know and see, other people in my circles that they use on a regular basis, including PRP seats. I know I need new seats. It's high on my list.
Well, when I watched my Jeep yard sell after my rollover, I literally went to every person that I respect and looked at the back of their Jeep and what they did. And then I narrowed it down to exactly how I wanted it to be. So I think it's important for people who are out there and that are seeing or that are doing what you're doing to look at their stuff and ask them questions about it and see.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about this community, is to be able to reach out and have those private messages in between. I think those are more valuable.
Even if you don't know influencer friends, just when you're out on the trail with your regular normies, the civilian friends,
normies.
Right?
Civilians.
Did you say normies?
Normies.
Get the civvies. You Flatlanders. Yeah,
Flatlanders.
That's there it is.
No, but when you're out on trail with regular people who aren't on the internet, take a look at what they have for their gear. Ask them about it. That's and ask them what they think about it. That's the way you should be approaching it.
I love telling people when I have spent money I'm proud to have spent.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than
awesome.
I spent $4,000 on that and I'm so happy I spent that money on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
Yep.
I don't like telling people I bought something and have to tell them all the shitty parts of it.
And there's a lot of those things that we
Although
bought.
I will.
Although we will.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I will.
Oh.
Or labor that's really shitty that we've bought. So, yeah.
Labor?
Labor?
There's certain labor that I won't buy again. And if you're face to face with me, I'll tell you all the feelings I have.
That's fair. I think that's a fair thing. I think that's the kind of thing, what you're willing to pay for labor wise is something you only kind of learn to use Randy's phrase, or to paraphrase it, I think was experience is what you need right after you get it, or something along those lines.
5 seconds.
It's the same thing for that.
Experience 5 seconds after you needed it.
There it is. Yep.
You said
Same
that
concept.
on one of your shows, and I think I went wheeling. JD, we went wheeling, and I said, I was trying to remember what that quote was. Because I thought that was
thing you need.
Craig quoted it to me. He
5
did,
seconds after you, just the second after you needed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I thought that was so cool.
That was awesome. And thank you, Randy. I've been looking for that clip, and I just got a new one of it. So that's fantastic. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Except for she didn't. If you can get her to say it really clean without being tongue twisted.
Right.
Oh no, I think with the one I can find the other. It makes it's a whole thing.
It's the motto I live by.
It's
It'll be the
it's a good one.
At the end of every episode.
I wouldn't mind it. Yeah, we need one for the end of every episode. I think that'd be a good one. Actually, that's a good idea, Alyssa. I like it.
Like a G.I.
You're our
Joe
second
or
unpaid producer.
Inspector Gadget style message of the day.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
We were just talking about how Gen X is all different because of all the cartoons and the morals that we got in the last 2 minutes of the show. If you didn't, if in the first 20 minutes of the show you didn't understand the last 2 minutes, somebody's going to come and look directly at the camera and smack you with it. And I think that's why we turned out different. Because we watch Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday here in this dual income, no kids house. So
I like it.
and if you're curious how to do it, get yourself a Plex and ambiguous moral center about pirating content. All right. Cool. Has anybody ever feel like they've been burned about something that they saw on Instagram that another influencer liked or posted about?
No, not really.
No.
Mm-mm.
No?
What do you mean?
I was really hoping somebody might have. Like, did you get anything that you went and bought something that you saw that somebody had posted about, and then you're like, yeah, this is garbage. I don't understand why people like this.
No.
Probably.
No?
I've seen
I
people
can't
post things that I know are
What'd you
already
s-
garbage. But
What'd you say?
I said I've seen people post stuff that I already had bought in the past and learned my lesson on before, so I know it's garbage already. But
Like, yeah.
But no, typically
I
I don't
think-
feel like I'm getting burned right now. I feel like most people are not sharing. I don't feel like people are going out of their way to promote crap right at the moment too much. I don't feel like. That,
I don't see a lot of them in my feeds.
except
I don't-
JK
I don't see it.
Trailfinder.
Oh, God.
Except JK Trailfinder. It's all
Mike,
garbage
I'm sorry.
from Mike.
I'm sorry, Mike.
He's gonna.
See, Mike's local to me though. Mike can find me and kick my ass, so it's all right.
Mhm.
I'm all right. I'm sure
Mike
he will
knows.
Mike knows.
too. Mike knows. He's
Mike
been
knows
he's been
Pope's a
watching the show
snob.
long enough.
Well,
He knows
us
we're all-
personally on the trail.
He knows us personally on the trail too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He's been with us on a couple
Right.
times. Him and his wife.
Yeah.
Nice.
They know what the hot mess.
I only ran
Express
into
is
him
like.
once. All right.
They're fantastic
Nice.
people, but they know who the Hot Mess Express is.
Yeah. I'm a lover, not a fighter. It's true. I'm sure.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. Well, this one isn't really. Yeah. Have you ever noticed any safety concerns being overlooked in posts by off-roading influencers for the sake of more engaging content? I mean, I think that's a yeah.
Kinda.
I feel like there's like a
I don't feel
YouTube
like you're.
thing
I don't.
right
I
now.
feel like kinda is cutting it too
Yeah,
easy.
no,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who are pushing more boundaries lately. I mean, Josh on the 4XE was pretty spicy.
That
but
was spicy. Unnecessarily spicy.
unnecessary jumping, but it was fun.
It was fun.
But I've noticed a lot of like YouTubers are starting to play like weird games like blindfolding each other and like driving obstacles blindfolded and things like that. I mean, I think that's I don't know. I think people are starting to get bored and they're like, well, people don't want to just see an obstacle anymore. So let's like blindfold them or you have to do it in 2 minutes.
It's like the movie Nerve or something.
Yeah.
It's that constant one-upmanship.
Constant. Like people are going backwards up obstacles and doing.
Which I feel like that's always been a thing. It's like once somebody goes up something enough times, then they're like, well, how can I go do it? If it's not raining or something different, then how can I make this obstacle different?
Yeah. And I think it's really hard in off-roading to make unique content and content that's different than everybody else. Like the only thing that makes us different than anyone else is our Jeeps are like, they look like Walt Disney threw up on them. Aside from, they're just, they're rainbow and colorful and they're big and nasty.
But we drive over rocks just like everyone
we drive
else
over rocks
does.
just like everyone else. And it's like we're not doing, and I don't even like to do it like in a stupid way 99% of the time. I try not to like, go out of control and be scary. But I do know that my favorite content to post is my Jeep on its side because it does well. So,
but that's just that's the part in you that just has to you want to get it
kind of like
do well.
Like we were safe, but something bad happened. So I'm showing the bad that happened. So I don't know if I'm promoting unsafe behavior because I'm showing the consequence of my behavior.
I don't feel like you guys are showing like poor behavior that puts you in that position, right? Like accidents happen and we all take bad lines once in a while, but you guys aren't putting yourselves in a bad position on purpose. And I think that's kind of what we're talking about here. Like if you're blindfolding yourself to go up an obstacle of any kind of any difficulty level, it's just stupid. Someone's going to get hurt.
I feel like that's the kind of safety precautions we're seeing people doing. All normal common sense people still seem to do. People are leaving their seatbelts on. People aren't doing that too bad, but they're like going up something backwards in where you can easily flip over.
But why?
Why?
I mean, why is that a problem? I mean, it's just people are having fun.
They're having fun.
It's their fault if they jack their Jeep. You know what I mean? I don't care if they.
I mean, they didn't hurt me, or they didn't hurt anybody else.
Anybody else, and you're not hurting
the trail,
and you're not like doing whatever. If you want to be stupid, be stupid. But don't
be aware you're probably going to get less free products. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think
I don't know. Motobuilt loves us because he's on his side and he sells truck bunk beds.
But again, it's because it's prefaced by saying you aren't doing the stupid shit to put yourself there. It's just stuff happens. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was exactly something just happened. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see here.
And that's that.
Any other questions we should run through on this? I feel like we're getting long in the tooth for today's show. Let's see here. Diversity, no. Have you observed any? I don't want to talk about that. Have you observed any changes in trail conditions or access due to influencer activity on social media?
Yeah, that's why they're closing trails.
Yeah, I mean, part of that is, I think you're right.
They don't like seeing people outside having fun, so they're trying to make sure that no one's outside having fun.
Well,
yeah,
now,
I think some of it's stupidity. Go ahead, Alyssa.
I was going to say, I'm sure Utah's similar. Now that we're getting the hot temperatures in Arizona, they really have to crack down and regulate. Like, say, like trail is closed at 10 a.m. because it's going to be 115 today. So, or at least for like hikers, like don't be in the heat. Driving, I wasn't thinking about like off-roading. I was thinking about like all the other like the Sedona trails and like hikings and stuff. But I know like temperature is a huge thing out here in addition to how packed it is, and people just think they can go out and go see pretty views, which you can.
Craig,
in the winter.
I think the thing for us, areas like Rainbow Falls and Mini Moab, I think that's where the social media influence here is bad, because that's the kind of trail, like if you're not familiar with Mini Moab, it's just it's an old rock quarry essentially here near Colorado Springs, and it's just nice red rock steps, kind of very similar to Moab, and every year, man, it gets dug out a little bit more. Have you been out there yet this season, Craig?
No, I thought you were more talking about like going out on trails and the influencers in front of the line, and he keeps stopping so no one can go. And it's like, I think that's why I wheel a lot by myself, so I can just do what I want and whatever. Like when we went, dude, your drone was the coolest thing I ever saw, because we didn't have to stop at all. We could just keep going, and yeah,
which is funny. I think people get annoyed by it. Yeah, it's.
Well, no, I've been on trails where they just stop everywhere and get out and take pictures. And
and that's so annoying. We're
not those people, but we have those people that are our friends.
It's fine. I'll stop wherever anybody wants to stop, but I'm not going to be the one to ask.
Like literally, we at Trail Hero, and this is at Trail Hero, we actually had a guy who always got out like 2 Jeeps ahead of him, started setting his drone up. And then as soon as he would get done off the obstacle, he'd go grab his drone and try to fly it down. One time he crashed it because the controller flew around in the cab and the drone flashed in the ground. Anyway, it wasn't taking him that much time, but it gave the perception to everybody else in the group that it was taking up a lot of time, and he was slowing people down, and he was making, and for that reason, a lot of times, unless we're on a group with a ton of other people, like-minded people who are trying to take content, we don't really like to record in big group settings anymore, because we just want to wheel and
with our friends.
and have fun. And I like to, I actually like to get out and spot and hang out. And if I'm recording, I can't spot. And it's one of those things. So like if we go to 5 Mile, we might record 1 or 2 things, but usually we're just going to wheel and have some fun. And we've kind of changed our approach, because there was a time when we recorded everything. Stop touching me. Will you stop touching me?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm trying to get better at that myself. So, and that's a big piece of it, though. I think I'm in the same boat. If I'm with a large group of people who are not content creators of any kind, I try to avoid doing a whole lot of content. I also might hang out at the back of the group and take it. Yeah. So, Mike says he knows exactly who you're talking about.
He does.
He sure does.
It's Mike. It's Mike.
It's Mike.
That time, though.
Just kidding.
Not this time. Not this time.
No, that was not Mike
right.
that we were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike doesn't bring out his drone during all that. He'll just do like in the cab.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And the only reason I put my drone out, like when we were out, Craig, is because it only takes me a couple minutes to launch it, and then it just kind of follows us, and then I can land it in the cab. But other than that, I try to avoid it because I always feel like I'm holding everybody up. All right. We're at an hour and 45. We should wrap this up.
That's true.
That was funny.
Right. That was good stuff. All right, so we'll go around the table. Final thoughts of any kind. We'll start with you, Pope Randy.
I'd like to apologize to everyone I intentionally offended. Sorry, Michael Randall.
Yeah, Michael. Just the one person that was targeted tonight. Yes, Michael.
Right. Sorry to the companies I dissed that we're not going to work with.
They're not going to listen to this anyway. That's fine. All right, cool. Randy?
Michael says that he accepts your apology.
Thank you very much, Mike. We appreciate you.
We appreciate you.
No, I think that we've said enough.
We've said enough. You know what, man? I feel like that should be at the end of our podcast. I'm gonna get that clip out. We've said enough. All right. Craig, any final thoughts about what we've talked about today? You can say no.
No, I think it's hard. It's hard because I know like Pope was saying about certain companies, and looking back, there's a few companies I probably wish I would have said no to, because then I would have got better companies down the road.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I would look back and be like, ooh.
Yeah, like be selective
take
if you're going to pick
seriously if, and for the record, my extreme terrain stuff is off the Jeep. I did take all that.
No. We're not giving that. We're just giving that shit to Mike. Not
wrong
you.
with that company, because I love my bumper. I like my rock sliders. So they've done well by me.
No. Yeah. All right. Alyssa?
I can't think of anything. No, I guess
just more dog stuff for you, right?
Is,
like maybe a Chewy a sponsorship or something.
Yeah,
puppies are expensive.
Yeah, I would love like the Fi dog collar. I know I want the Fi dog collar. It's the GPS. Yeah.
I'll let me touch base with you.
Okay.
I'll put you in touch with somebody.
Eli has one. Eli's had one for a while, and we love it. I definitely want to get
Spot on collar. Spot on has a new one that has a satellite collar.
I haven't. I was looking at it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after. Yeah. Because I'm testing their one here now. I've had it for a couple months here with the dog. So my big thing is I'm worried about him running off and being stupid. And we'll talk about that later. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. But like going off of Craig, like don't accept everything that comes through for you. Like it's exciting if the company sees you and says like, hey, you want to try this product? like, yeah, it's exciting, but also you don't have to say yes to everything, and maybe you don't say
It's
yes
also
to
better for
everything.
us
It's
as a
just,
sport if we don't all agree to say yes to it all too. I think it
It
looks
is, I
better
think,
if we start pushing back. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
But yeah, everyone
Well,
do you, and just as long as you're getting out and you're enjoying getting out, just enjoy being on the trails
yeah.
with whatever products you have,
I
and be
mean,
honest.
at the end of the day, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You don't fake it because we'll notice.
It's true.
Or I think most of us will notice if you're faking it
No,
on
I
social
think,
media
and I think that's
about a
my,
product.
yeah, I think that's my last piece too, is that this is just kind of like if you're getting these, you know, if you're one of those people who is posting, you know, ads or posting about stuff that you bought or been gifted by a company or something, just be honest about what it is you're reviewing. If you don't like the product, say you don't like the product, or don't post about it at all. Just make sure that you're being honest with your followers. Otherwise, they're going to know you're not. Or we're going to know that you're being disingenuous, and it'll start to show in your numbers.
I mean, there's a difference between throwing out someone's name, and there's a difference between just kind of like totally, you know, pimping yourself out. Find that fine line, and take care of it, because you can pump up the companies you like that you do if you don't work with them. Obviously, do that.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
just don't.
Yeah, just don't whore yourself out.
Yeah, just don't.
That's my parting shot.
There you go. Here you go. It's all about the experiences and opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm just getting polished up for bigger companies. There you go. That's what Mike said. There you go, Mike. That's a good way to leave it. All right, we should finish up. Anyone want to finish their drinks if anybody has one? We forgot to go over our list. I saved just a little bit. All right. Cheers. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Remember, if you want to get a hold of us, reach out to us at thetrailheadnetwork.com. You can catch Craig on Instagram at the Fergie. What is it? Yeah, I've had 3 or 4 beers now.
Fergie.the.jku.
Alrighty. And are you just you've got your show now, right? That's just on Instagram? Is it on a podcast? What is it?
It's YouTube and Spotify.
All right. And what's your website?
FergieTheJKU.com.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks so much. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Y'all have a great night. Yeah, man. Anytime. You're welcome. You're welcome to roll by anytime you want, Craig.
Yeah, come back again.
All right, everybody.
Yeah, good to see you.
See you guys next.